Kai's family surprised Tan Songyun after birth. You won't believe their priceless gift. The hospital room was still glowing with that quiet warmth that follows the arrival of a new life. Tan Songyun, exhausted yet radiant, was resting in her bed while Kai sat beside her, holding their newborn daughter as if the entire world fit in his arms. The soft hum of the air conditioner and the faint scent of antiseptic were interrupted by the sound of hurried footsteps outside the door. Before either of them could react, the door swung open, revealing Kai's parents, his younger sister, and two uncles, all dressed in celebratory colors and carrying bundles wrapped in red silk. Surprise! Kai's mother announced, her voice cracking from the emotions she had clearly tried to hold back during the journey to the hospital. Tan Songyun's eyes widened. Auntie, uncle, She tried to sit up, but Kai gently pressed her shoulder down. You just rest, he whispered. What happened next was something neither Tan Songyun nor Kai could have prepared for. Kai's father stepped forward holding a long, rectangular lacquered box with intricate golden carvings on the lid. His hands trembled as he placed it at the foot of the bed. This, he said, his voice deep but shaking, has been in the Su family for 4 generations. Today, it belongs to you. When Kai carefully opened the box, a collective gasp filled the room. Inside was an antique jade hairpin encrusted with tiny pearls, perfectly preserved despite its age. It shimmered under the fluorescent lights, but the real value wasn't in the material, it was in the history. This pin, Kai's mother explained, was given to the women in our family who have brought honor, love, and unity. My grandmother wore it on her wedding day. I wore it when Kai was born. And now, her voice broke completely, tears spilling down her cheeks as she looked at Tan Songyun. Now it's yours. Tan Songyun's lips parted, but no words came. She had never expected acceptance from Kai's traditional family to come so swiftly, so powerfully, and with such deep emotion. She glanced at Kai, whose own eyes were glistening. He reached for her hand, squeezing it firmly as if to say, "This is real. They love you." But the gift-giving wasn't over. Kai's younger sister, Fei, came forward holding a smaller box, her mischievous grin breaking the tension. "And this," she said, "is from me and you better love it." Inside was a delicate gold bracelet engraved with the baby's name in tiny characters, the design so subtle it seemed to glow. "For you to wear every day," Fei added softly, "so no matter where you go, you carry her with you." Tears blurred Tan Songyun's vision. She touched the bracelet with trembling fingers, then looked down at her daughter sleeping peacefully in Kai's arms. Just when she thought the emotional storm had reached its peak, Kai's uncle stepped forward, clearing his throat. "There's one more thing." He handed Kai a manila envelope. Inside was a deed, not just to any house, but to a sprawling countryside estate just outside their hometown. Tan Songyun gasped. "No, this is too much." "It's for the baby," the uncle said. "A place for her to grow, to play, to know where she comes from. We've already had the garden prepared." And he hesitated, smiling faintly. "There's a cherry blossom tree planted there in your name, Songyun." The room fell into a stunned silence. Even Kai looked momentarily speechless. But perhaps the most mind-blowing moment came after the family settled down and began chatting warmly around the bed. Kai's father leaned close to Tan Songyun and said quietly, "We know it hasn't been easy. We've seen the things said about you in the media. But from today, you're not just Kai's partner. You are our family. And anyone who tries to hurt you will have to go through us first." That was when Tan Songyun finally broke down completely, burying her face in Kai's shoulder. Her sobs were muffled, but the relief in them was unmistakable. The controversies, the whispers, the criticisms she had faced, in that moment, they all seemed smaller compared to the love wrapping itself around her now. Later, after the family had left and the hospital room had quieted again, Kai sat beside her, still holding the jade hairpin. "I think this is the first time I've seen you speechless," he teased gently. She smiled through her tears. "It's too much. I don't deserve." Stop, Su-kai said firmly, brushing a stray hair from her forehead. You've given me the greatest gift of my life. You deserve everything. Outside, the city lights blinked faintly against the night sky, but inside that hospital room, a new chapter had begun. Su-kai's family's priceless gift wasn't just the jade, the bracelet, or even the house. It was the unspoken promise that from now on, Tan Songyun would never have to fight alone. And for Tan Songyun, that was more valuable than anything money could ever buy. The room was still warm with laughter and soft baby coos when the door opened again, this time revealing someone Tan Songyun never expected to see so soon, Su-kai's mother. She was elegant, her hair swept up in a graceful bun, her step steady but filled with emotion. In her arms was a velvet-covered box, the kind that looked like it could hold the kind of heirloom whispered about in family histories. Behind her trailed Su-kai's older sister, carrying a wrapped bundle that seemed too large to be flowers but too small to be furniture. Songyun sat up slightly, instinctively tightening her hold on her daughter, a sudden nervousness creeping in. Despite the joy of the day, she had always feared this moment, meeting Su-kai's entire family in such an intimate setting, with their child in her arms. Su-kai's mother approached slowly, her eyes scanning over the baby before meeting Songyun's. There was a brief silence, a pause thick with unspoken words, until her voice broke through. She looks just like you, she said softly, her lips curving into a genuine smile that instantly eased Songyun's tension. The velvet box was placed gently on the side table. Su-kai leaned forward and opened it for her. Inside was an intricately crafted golden hairpin, embedded with tiny jade stones. This, his mother began, has been passed down to the first daughter born into our family for 3 generations. It was mine and now it's hers. Songyun's breath caught. She ran her fingers over the smooth gold, feeling the weight of its history. But then, Su-kai's sister stepped forward with her own gift. She unwrapped the bundle to reveal a hand-stitched quilt, each square carefully embroidered with a symbol representing blessings, longevity, health, love, prosperity. I started this the day Su-kai told me you were expecting, she said with a shy smile. It's for her to grow up with, and for you to know, you're already part of us. The room felt heavier with emotion now. Songyun's vision blurred slightly, not from exhaustion, but from the overwhelming acceptance radiating from the people in front of her. But the biggest surprise was yet to come. Su-kai's mother reached into her purse and pulled out a sealed envelope. She handed it to Songyun without a word. Confused, Songyun opened it. Inside was a property deed. Su-kai looked just as shocked as she did. Mom, what is this? His mother's eyes softened. A home, she said simply. For you, for her, for the life you're building. No more small apartments or rented spaces. A place that's yours, where no one can tell you to leave. Songyun's hands trembled as she stared at the paper. She had never imagined receiving something so permanent, so life-changing, especially today. Her voice cracked. I don't know what to say. Su-kai moved closer, his arms slipping around her shoulders. Say yes, he whispered with a grin, but his own eyes were glassy. There was a moment of shared silence, everyone in the room watching as the weight of the gift settled over her. She finally nodded, smiling through her tears. But just as she was about to thank them again, her daughter stirred in her arms and let out a soft cry. Su-kai's mother stepped forward, asking gently, "May I?" Songyun hesitated, not out of distrust, but because she hadn't let anyone else hold the baby for long yet. Still, something about the moment felt right. She passed her over, watching as Su-kai's mother cradled the tiny girl with practiced ease, humming a lullaby that seemed to quiet even the air around them. Su-kai's sister, now sitting beside Songyun, leaned in. You know, she whispered, I used to think no one would be good enough for my brother. But seeing him now, seeing you, I think I was wrong. It was a confession that made Songyun smile through her tears again. For all the turbulence in their past, the public fights, the jealous rumors, the constant media scrutiny, this moment felt untouched by all of it. The camera on Sukai's phone quietly clicked in the background as he captured his mother rocking the baby, his sister chatting with Songyun, and himself standing close enough to touch them both. It wasn't for the internet, not for the fans, just for him, for them. When his mother finally handed the baby back, she looked at Songyun and said something she would remember for the rest of her life. "You don't have to prove anything to us anymore. You've already given us the greatest gift." And with that, the fear Songyun had been carrying, the fear of not being enough, of not belonging, seemed to lift from her shoulders. The day ended not with the chaos of reporters or the flash of cameras, but with laughter over a shared meal his family had brought, quiet conversations in corners, and the sound of a baby breathing peacefully in her mother's arms. For the first time in a long while, Tan Songyun didn't feel like she was caught between love and the world's judgment. She felt home.